Now today we're going to be talking about the greatest moment ever in Haikyuu in my opinion. This comes in the Karasuno vs Nekima match in the third round for the Nationals. At this moment, Nekima is already up one set against Karasuno and is close to victory on the second set. Their setter Kenma has now found a way to block Hinata, getting him out the game and making him extremely uncomfortable. We see the feelings of frustration start to show for Hinata as he is not a part of this game. Kenma had game planned everything in an attempt to capture a crow, which was Hinata. He was doing everything well and knew what he was doing, as this was a game of smarts and Kenma was amazing throughout the whole match. Kenma says, even as I tear apart their wings with my own two hands, I lament the fact that they can no longer fly. His teammate Kuro says, you're such a pain. We see the score is 17-18 in Karasuno's favor, and now a player watching saying, oh come on, do something. Do something already, Hinata. The match is now getting ready to kick off again, and we see Hinata and Kageyama both intensely ready. We see dialogue of go go, we're going to tear off the wings of every crow. Kenma says it's about time you started struggling. The desire to escape from this cage and break free from those feelings of ire and frustration will lead to a search for a shortcut. You have a yearning for the new world that lies before your eyes. If you follow your desires, the balance of your entire team will fall apart. The score is now 21-21 and Karasuno continues to cling on. We see Hinata thinking of a flashback of the Shiratorizawa coach saying he doesn't sense any value in him without Kageyama as a setter. Nishinoya asks Hinata if he is alright and Hinata does not know why he just thought of that. The psychological effects of Hinata's skills are now starting to show as he is starting to doubt himself in the middle of the game. We see Hinata get ready to go for a spike and setter knows he could use Hinata right now, but instead ends up passing the ball to Kageyama as he delivers a powerful spike. The ball ends up becoming a chance ball once again with Karasuno having another chance. We see the flashbacks again of Hinata's obstacles letting him know his talent. He starts to run up and we see a crow as he moves up. Kenma tips the ball over to Karasuno's side and the setter can't make it there, thinking it's going to be a point. But then Hinata comes out of nowhere saving the ball. Hinata has been saving them many times, getting to the ball and receives faster than anyone else. We see internal dialogue from Hinata as he says, even as I understand that I'm getting held back by Kenma, forcing me to receive, there's no way I can choose one thing over the other. Without a receive, there will be no spike. If the ball drops, volleyball will never begin. If there's one thing I understand is that there are no shortcuts when it comes to scoring a point. A valid lesson here by Hinata understanding just how important each point is and why he is working so hard to get to the ball even more and stop the other team from scoring. We see Hinata run up again with the same monologue of shortcuts. Just as he comes up for a spike, Kageyama passes the ball to his other side and Nekima gets to it, leaving the ball up in the air and going back to Karasuno's side. As Hinata is ready to move again, he suddenly slips on sweat. He cannot participate in the offense this time around. Nekima is able to take advantage and score, leaving frustrations for Haikyuu. It was such a bad time for Hinata to slip there and all of their luck had felt like it was run out. For all of Karasuno's tenacity and unrelenting attacks, ironic as it may be, an unfortunate bout of bad luck seemed to have struck. Kenma looks over at Hinata though and Hinata is smiling. Kenma is completely shocked to this and Hinata thinks I almost had it. Kenma says are you alright and Hinata says I'm fine, sorry. Kageyama now realizes that they are not just forcing Hinata to save the ball, they're targeting specifically so Hinata can't run to the right. What's more, they've probably also taken into account of the brief moment hesitation that occurred before every receive. Even if I want Hinata to spike, if he's in this kind of compromised form, then he'll only fall prey to the opposing blockers or we make an error ourselves and sink further into this quagmire. How amazing and interesting this is. Even if Hinata is grounded to a certain extent, it's not fatal to us. We can focus on our side attacks. However, it's true that we're slowly getting bled out. What's more, how do I put it? This game of volley feels measures, as we see Kageyama in a cage like a bird. He thinks more, saying I doubt that Nekima is trying to shut Hinata down completely. Their goal is more likely to just shave off his scoring capacity. The question is, how can we get those points back? He thinks more, is it too dangerous or is it worth giving it a shot? Before all that, is Hinata in a stable condition? Kageyama thinks back to what his coach told him, saying you need to have a good handle on the conditions of players and the situation they're in. This is a nice internal dialogue from Kageyama. He realizes what the other team is doing to Hinata, but also has to keep in the kind of conditions of everyone around him. He cannot force it to them if they are not in the best situation to deal with it. The old Kageyama would not have cared like a tyrant king, but this Kageyama has grown and learned more from his past mistakes. We continue onto the game as Hinata receives the ball once again. Hinata still looks completely locked into the game and this sets a spark of light in Kageyama. It is now 21-22, Nekima and Kageyama thanks to cut through the wall that looms before your spikers. That is the purpose of a setter. Nekima begins to set the ball, bringing the ball over to Karasuno. They receive the ball, but the serve aimed at the front line is in the net, throwing off Karasuno. Hinata says my weapon is my mobility. He thinks that he needs to go faster and faster to be productive and make time for the setter. In the midst of the game though, where speed was everything and everyone was on edge, Kageyama yells open and everyone stops. He throws the ball up in the air, letting it sit. With this open attack, it is a third temp attack where the toss is high and therefore the spiker has ample time to start the run up to keep in sync with the toss. We see Hinata on a figurative rock as he looks up at the ball in the sky. He looks amazed at the ball and gets his run-up distance secured. Thinks back to his conversations with Kageyama where he tells him that he can jump even higher and his jumps right now are like boing boing. He should move his run-up momentum upwards between the toes and the arch of his foot. The truly jaw-dropping jumps come from the sound of the floor being audibly kicked. As Hinata builds up the momentum, we see his feet planted perfectly and his body getting ready to jump in this amazing panel. We then see a crow breaking free from its cage, finding its freedom in the skies as Hinata jumps high into the sky going for the ball. This right here was the greatest moment in Haikyuu. Being limited and restricted in a cage and finally breaking free from the shackles, Hinata let all the critics get to his head and finally lay them to rest in this one moment. But from then on he knew he could fly anywhere. Hinata goes in for the spike as people in the crowd are amazed at this. The ball does get blocked though and everyone is shocked. The narrator says looked like the timing was a little off, however Kurasuno indeed looked like they were about to pull off an attack with that point. It's rare to see Hinata do an attack from such a high toss. Kenma is also shocked from this. He says an open toss in spite of everything even though speed is supposed to be Shoyo's weapon, while knowing full well that the blockers will follow. He thinks more saying that Shoyo jumped even higher than usual. We start the game plan with Kageyama serving the ball. He throws the ball high in the air again, giving a clean toss. Hinata was amazed by this ball and then goes for the jump. He plants his feet perfectly and is up against 3 blockers. This time though he is able to score and Kurasuno is able to take the lead. This was really the best moment in Haikyuu as the game completely changed for them moving forward. Kageyama was no longer a prisoner to speed and had way more options now that allowed him to be the best setter he can. Hinata was also able to get out of his slump and use his jumping ability and not just his quickness as well. I really enjoyed this moment from Haikyuu and it's why I regard it so highly. Being trapped like a bird in a cage was a plan for Nekoma, but that caged bird was able to free itself from the cage and unleash its full potential. I think this serves as a great story in life itself. Sometimes we can be limited from our own thoughts and let negative words get to us. For Hinata, this was a real issue as he always kept thinking about the issues of his height. He felt like speed was the only thing he was really good at, but it turns out he can jump even higher. It took a teammate like Kageyama to be able to see the pace of the game and completely change momentum from one open ball alone that changed the tides of this match. I like seeing how they did this match and put it up there as one of the best matches of all time. This moment captures just the overall tone of Haikyuu and finally allowing Hinata to see more of himself than before. They tried to take him out of this game and limit him, but his presence and determination changed the team. Look at yourself in life and use this story as a reminder that sometimes you are also locked in a cage. What can you do to set yourself free? You can go even higher, just like how Hinata did. It's not about what others think, but what do you think of yourself? Picture yourself going up against a wall that seems impossible to break through. Use your gifts and sometimes just slow down and think of what to do next. I hope this moment serves as a great lesson to free yourself from whatever is keeping you locked up. Well, I thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back in the next one. Peace.